Deep in the vacuum of space, astronaut Ryland Grace is drifting in a silent ship. Against all odds, he has successfully engineered a cure for the cosmic parasite destroying his home solar system. His navigational coordinates are locked. The vessel has enough fuel to coast back to Earth, a journey that would cement his legacy as the savior of the human race. But as he prepares for the journey home, he checks the storage tanks for the Taumoeba, the microbes meant to save the alien world of Erid. He realizes these specific microbes have evolved a resistance to nitrogen, the very gas used to pressurize his ship's atmosphere. This creates a catastrophe for his friend, Rocky. Rocky's ship is a high-pressure nitrogen environment. On the journey back to Erid, these microbes will escape their containers, consume the ship's fuel, and leave Rocky to drift until his life support fails. The physics of the return trip offer no second chances. The ship's fuel reserves are calculated to the gram. He has enough to reach Earth, or enough to intercept Rocky and save him from his own fuel supply. He cannot do both. To understand why an astronaut would look at a guaranteed path back to his own species and voluntarily abandon it, we have to examine the partnership that formed between a human and an alien in the darkest corner of the universe. Months earlier, Grace was alone in a dying star system when he met Rocky, a five-legged engineer from Erid. They shared zero biology. They couldn't breathe the same atmosphere, see the same light, or communicate through sound. They found common ground in the periodic table. Using a hydrogen atom's vibration as a base unit for time and distance, they exchanged complex data through clicks and flashes. They took those measurements and prototyped. Grace provided theoretical physics, while Rocky used Eridian metallurgy to manufacture hardware to isolate the threat. In the vacuum of space, their survival relied on their biological differences. Rocky could work in temperatures that would melt human equipment, while Grace could spot radiation leaks invisible to Rocky's heat-based senses. This constant cycle of mutual reliance in a lethal environment meant they were no longer just two scientists from different stars. They were the only two beings in existence who knew how to keep the other alive. Back in the present, Grace faces the reality of that bond. Rocky is already weeks away on a trajectory toward Erid, unknowingly carrying the nitrogen-resistant microbes that will destroy his ship. Looking at the orbital plot, fuel constraints are final. A burn toward the yellow star leads to Earth. A burn toward the red star intercepts Rocky. He must choose one or the other. There is no middle ground that doesn't end in a dead engine. Grace weighs the vision of a blue sky and human company against the death of the only friend he has left. He realizes that for him, the mission isn't over if Rocky doesn't make it home. He keys in the interception coordinates, pivots the ship's nose away from the Milky Way, and fires the main drive toward Erid. He chooses a lifetime of exile on an alien world to ensure the engineer who saved his life survives to see his own home again. Years later, Grace's life is defined by this strange new reality. He is the only human on Erid, living inside a pressurized dome built by the friends he saved. He spends his days teaching science to a room full of Eridian children, using the same shared language of physics he once used to survive the void. But he lives with a constant, quiet tension. Long before he turned his ship around, he sent an automated probe back to Earth with the cure. Because of the massive distance between stars, light takes years to travel. For over a decade, Grace has had no way of knowing if his probe arrived, or if humanity even exists anymore. Finally, the Eridians bring him a reading from their long-range sensors. Their telescopes have been pointed at our sun, waiting for a specific change in its output. The data shows the sun's brightness has stabilized. The parasite has been cleared. The probe he sent years ago successfully saved the human race. By giving up his own journey home, Ryland Grace ensured the survival of two different species and found a sense of purpose that spans the stars.